Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the sources you send us, things like articles, notes, research, and we really try to pull out the core insights for you.
Yeah, the goal is to get you up to speed quickly but thoroughly
Yeah,
on, sometimes complex topics.
exactly. And today we're diving into the world of Indian healthcare marketing. Specifically, we're looking at the work and impact of Akil Dave.
Right. We've got a mix of materials here, articles and background research notes, all focused on him.
Our mission for this deep dive, it's really to understand Akil Dave's influence, maybe his philosophies, and what makes his take on healthcare marketing kind of unique and, well, effective.
It's a specialized field, healthcare marketing, and it's definitely evolving. So, yeah, lots to unpack.
Okay, so where do we start? The sources seem to position him as something of a pioneer in this space in India.
They definitely do. I mean, the first thing that jumps out is the experience over 2 decades. Actually, the sources say over 24 years now. That's a long time dedicated specifically to healthcare marketing and strategy in India.
And he's got the I am Lucknow background, which points to, solid business grounding.
Absolutely. But it's not just about being around a long time. The materials consistently frame him as someone pushing for marketing that's, well, ethical and data-driven, which is pretty important in healthcare, right?
Hugely important. So how did he translate that into action? Let's talk about his ventures. HMS Consultants comes up first.
Yes. HMS Consultants. It's described as India's first-of-its-kind healthcare digital marketing and consulting agency. That's quite a claim.
It is a first of its kind. What makes it distinct? What gap was it filling, according to the sources?
Well, it seems the key insight behind HMS was recognizing that while big hospital chains maybe had resources, smaller players didn't.
Like smaller clinics or rural facilities.
Exactly. Smaller clinics, multi-specialty hospitals, maybe not at the top tier, and definitely rural healthcare providers. They often lacked access to, sophisticated digital marketing or strategic advice. HMS was set up specifically for them.
Okay, so a targeted approach. And they operate under these guiding principles, SPART.
Yeah, SPART ARC. It stands for strategic integrity, professional nurturing, advanced innovation, and responsive transparency. It gives you a sense of their foundational values.
Strategic integrity, professional nurturing. Okay, seems quite principled. And there's this motto mentioned quite a bit, knowing is knowing, doing is doing.
Right. And it sounds like more than just a slogan. The material suggests it's about bridging the gap between, let's say, theoretical knowledge and actual practical results.
So less talk, more action, especially in healthcare where results really matter.
Precisely. It signals a focus on tangible outcomes, on accountability. It's about making marketing work in the real world for doctors and hospitals focused on patients and efficiency, not just, abstract concepts.
Makes sense. And that seems to tie into their prescription-based services model.
It does, yeah. The idea is that their services are tailored, like a prescription, to the specific needs and goals of that particular client. Very individualized.
And part of that model is this no long-term commitment policy. That sounds unusual for consulting.
It really is. They apparently state that they'll step away, that's the phrase used, if the client doesn't see results within 3 months.
Wow, that's putting your money where your mouth is, essentially, reversing the risk for the client.
It definitely suggests a high degree of confidence in their methods, and they even kick things off with a free 30-minute consultation that provides actionable suggestions up front.
So you get a taste of their approach, some actual advice, with no strings attached initially.
Exactly. It's a smart way to build trust and show value right from the start.
Okay, so that's HMS, focused on smaller players and digital. But he also co-founded Trizone Healthcare Consultants, LLP.
Right.
How does that fit in?
Right, Trizone Healthcare Consultants. This seems like a strategic move to address a different segment of the market. It was founded with Neeraj Upadhyay, and it connects to a broader entity, Trizone Communications.
And who is Trizone aimed at?
The sources indicate Trizone targets the mid-sized and the larger healthcare organizations, the ones with perhaps more complex needs than the typical HMS client.
So bigger hospitals, established groups, seems like it. And their focus is broader to integrated marketing communication, or IMC.
IMC. So looking at the whole communication picture, not just digital.
Exactly. Website, social media, yes, but also traditional advertising, PR, internal comms, patient interaction points, tying it all together for a consistent message and brand experience.
But the goals sound similar to HMS, building trust, increasing patient numbers, revenue, reputation.
The core goals are aligned, yes. Ethical practices, building trust, driving growth. But Trizone is geared towards organizations needing that comprehensive, integrated strategy, likely blending online and offline tactics more heavily.
Okay, so HMS for the smaller, often digitally focused needs, and Trizone for the larger, integrated communication challenges. That covers the consultancy side. But then there's the AHMP India Foundation.
Yes, the foundation. Akil Dave is the founder chairman here. And this is clearly a different kind of entity. It's nonprofit.
And its mission.
The mission is stated as inspiring, innovating, and transforming ethical healthcare marketing in India. It's about elevating the entire industry. How do they do that?
Through things like networking events, educational programs, trying to share best practices. They also have initiatives like an upcoming conference, AHMP 2025, and awards the Healthcare Marketing Maestros Awards to recognize good work.
So it's about building community and raising standards across the board. It shows a commitment beyond just his own companies.
Absolutely. It really paints a picture of someone invested in the overall health and integrity of the field itself.
Let's dive deeper into specific areas of expertise now. The sources list quite a range.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive. You've got the fundamentals, branding, marketing strategy, then deep dives into digital SEO, Google My Business, the technical stuff.
It's not just digital, right?
No, not at all.
Yep.
Big emphasis on patient engagement, even using tools like WhatsApp effectively. Specific focus on hospital marketing challenges, personal branding for doctors, which is huge reputation management, and market research.
Market research for what purpose, specifically?
The sources mentioned using market research and analysis, particularly for planning and setting up new healthcare facilities. So data informing major strategic decisions. It's a very holistic view of healthcare marketing.
And he seems very focused on keeping up with technology. There's mention of training doctors on digital marketing and AI.
Yes, that stood out. Training over 1,500 doctors, not just on digital basics, but on leveraging tools like ChatGPT. That's quite forward-thinking.
Why train the doctors themselves?
Well, you empower them directly, don't you? To understand how to connect with patients digitally, how to manage their online presence, maybe even streamline some communication using AI, it lifts the digital literacy of the whole sector, potentially.
And this educational drive goes beyond just training sessions. Guest lectures, a blog, master classes, even a video series.
Right. He's lecturing at places like IIPG, NIMS, Parul University, IIHMR Jaipur. His blog, akildevblog.com, covers hospital marketing, personal branding. He runs masterclasses like the Hospital Marketing Blueprint, workshops on ethics.
And a video series on marketing mistakes.
Yeah. Seems like he's sharing lessons learned, this whole multi-channel educational effort. It creates a sort of feedback loop, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, his hands-on consulting work gives some practical insights. He then shares these through his teaching, writing, and speaking. This raises the knowledge level in the industry.
Which, in turn, probably helps his consulting work because clients are more informed.
Exactly. It builds his credibility, disseminates valuable information widely, and helps shape how current and future healthcare professionals think about marketing. It fosters a more informed ecosystem.
The sources also talk about tangible results, revolutionizing businesses, fueling exponential growth, helping providers scale up. We don't have hard numbers here, but the language is strong.
It is strong. While we lack specific case study data in these particular sources, the consistent theme is significant, measurable impact. Mentions of testimonials about transforming digital presence and boosting brand image reinforce that idea. It suggests his methods deliver.
Okay, let's try to crystallize what makes his approach distinctive. The data-driven aspect comes up again and again.
Definitely. It seems central. Recommendations aren't based on guesswork, but on analysis, market data, patient behavior insights, tracking marketing performance.
And those hospital marketing audits mentioned?
Yeah, that sounds like a key tool. Likely a deep dive into everything a hospital is currently doing marketing-wise, identifying what works, what doesn't, where the opportunities are. All aimed at improving ROI and strengthening the brand based on evidence.
And alongside data, there's the constant emphasis on ethics.
Crucial in healthcare. His role in the AHMP India Foundation underlines this, as does that strategic integrity principle at HMS. The sources mention him advocating for ethical storytelling over aggressive selling.
What does that mean in practice, do you think? Ethical storytelling.
I interpret it as focusing on transparency, authenticity, building genuine connections based on trust and clear information, rather than, high-pressure sales tactics or misleading claims, which feels right for healthcare.
Makes sense. And let's just revisit that prescription-based services model at HMS one last time. It really does seem to capture a lot of his philosophy.
It does. It embodies that tailored, results-focused approach. Calling it a prescription highlights the customization and that no long-term commitment policy linked to results within 3 months.
Is a powerful statement of accountability.
Absolutely. It forces them to deliver value quickly. Plus, that initial free consultation with actual advice lowers the barrier to entry and builds trust from day one. It's very client-centric.
So pulling it all together, Akil Dave comes across as, well, a real force in Indian healthcare marketing. He identified needs, built ventures like HMS and Trizone to meet them.
Using a distinct philosophy built on practical results that knowing is knowing, doing is doing idea, and strong principles like ethics and JADA.
And he's not just running businesses, he's actively trying to shape and improve the whole field through the AHMP Foundation and his educational work, embracing tech like AI too.
Precisely. It's a multifaceted impact. Pioneering spirit, focus on ethical, measurable results, and a commitment to elevating the industry. That seems to be the core picture emerging from the sources.
So, as you're listening, maybe think about these core ideas we've discussed regarding Akil Dave's work in healthcare. The focus on ethics, using data seriously, really centering on client needs and delivering tangible results.
Yeah, how could those principles apply elsewhere? Maybe your industry or even just in how you approach your own work.
Right. What's the value, really, in prioritizing those concrete outcomes and building trust through principled action, no matter what field you're in? Something to consider.
Definitely something to mull over.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive today.